Stacy, Jon Burge's body is at a funeral home not far from his house near Tampa, Florida, an area popular for retired Chicago police officers. And at the time of his death, Burge himself was still a popular figure among some elements of law enforcement who thought he had become a scapegoat for arrest tactics that were widely in use in the 70s and 80s. And tonight, Burge goes to his death without ever having been prosecuted for actual torture. Burge, a bachelor, had lived here in Apollo Beach, Florida since he was fired by Chicago police in 1993. In 2008, the FBI knocked on his door here and arrested him for lying under oath when he denied having tortured anyone. Mr. Burge, did this come as a surprise to you today?
I'm not at liberty to say anything, but yes, it did.
It shouldn't have been a surprise. Burge had been under investigation for 2 decades. More than 100 suspects, most African-American men, claimed they were tortured by Burge or the detectives who worked for him, using cattle prods, suffocation bags, or electrodes from this homemade shock box clipped to the suspects' extremities. A torture list that includes Mark Clemens, who spent nearly 3 decades in prison for an arson he says someone else committed.
I literally remained in prison for 28 years of my life. Do I feel sorry for Jon Burge? No. I do not feel sorry for Jon Burge. It's emotional.
Burge has cost the city nearly $80 million in settlements paid to abuse victims, the largest chunk of a total payout exceeding $100 million to victims of all police misconduct. The union representing 10,000 Chicago police officers tonight saying Burge's full story has never been told. And a former FOP president says Burge put a lot of bad people in prison.
I don't know that Jon Burge got a fair shake. Based on the years and years and years of service he gave the city. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see how that eventually plays out in history, I guess.
Jon Burge himself was in federal custody for 4.5 years on the perjury conviction released in 2015. Burge died never admitting anything or apologizing for it. He once told the I-Team that he was so angry about how he was publicly portrayed that he had written a lengthy letter to news organizations defending himself. His attorneys convinced him not to send it, so we never heard from Jon Burge.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.